You know that your mistake can cost millions of dollars.
Months of 200,000 euros income and more. And the next month can be zero. AI models, sanction, restriction.
And even family pirates.
Business isn't a goal, it is a journey.
What is the strength?
I think people.
Today, we are stepping into the world of trading, the kind that can look from the outside like the Wolf of Wall Street. Big money, fast decisions, and high price for any mistake. In one working day, you might see Power BI dashboards, cryptocurrency headlines, and even family pirates. This is a business where you can make multi-million-dollar decisions and still have to keep a cool head, where technology, experience, and human judgment meet every hour. And to talk about it properly, not just in theory, we invited someone who's seen markets in different eras. Viktor Gladkov is the CEO of Evicor. Viktor, hello.
Hello, Sophia.
Nice to see you. A quick note about the company. Evicor AG is an independent Swiss trading company operating since 2003. We trade in fuel, LPG, base oil, chemicals, and metals across Europe and the United States. Viktor has spent over 30 years in trading. He has lived through crises, worked across metals, oils, and crude, and he knows what's really behind the charts. Viktor, welcome. People usually ask you how you earned your first million, but I would like to ask you, do you remember your first deal, and can you tell a bit more about it for us?
Hello everyone. I've been in trading for over 30 years. I've seen markets rise and fall. When Soviet Union collapsed, times were tough. No steady work, no stability, no clear rules. A friend and I were looking for a way to earn, and we came across a small newspaper advert. One factory was selling a material, another was needed. So we simply connected them. And even then, I set a principle that stays with me to this day. We do business ethically and strictly within the law. That was my first deal. No office, no system, just trust. We could say Evicor started with the newspaper classified.
So thank you very much for this story. And I also have a question. If you wouldn't go into trading sphere, what would you have done?
I think I would have built a company anyway. I've always liked building processes, bringing people together, and watching a team grow. To me, business is a living thing. It's not only about earning, it's also about developing your own skills. No matter how tough the fight, I would definitely still choose entrepreneurship.
Viktor, thank you very much. And I think most people are really curious about how the working on the deal is actually looking like.
Most people think that a deal is simply about buying and selling. In reality, it's research, checks, risk, and a bit of magic. We find the best product on the market. We scrutinize the counterparty with much greater detail than they ever check themselves. We handle the entire procurement process, manage every risk from logistics to quality, and we deliver to the client on time with absolutely no unexpected surprises. Why don't companies do it themselves? Because it's a complex, integrated system. It involves banking, paperwork, logistics, insurance, strict quality control, sanction risks, and very tight deadlines. Usually, it's simpler and cheaper to trust professionals than to build the expertise from scratch in-house.
Okay, thank you, Viktor. And I also would like to ask, so from the outside, trading creates a very cinematic image. A trader who is incredibly wealthy, living in a villa and driving a luxury car. How close is it to reality? And what does a trader actually earn on average? And what is their day-to-day life is really like?
It is important to distinguish between two sides. The first is the visible one, money and results. The second is the hidden one, the weight of constant pressure, a demanding 24/7 rhythm, and heavy responsibility, where even one mistake can lead to a heavy price. In this industry, experience doesn't come only with time. It often comes through difficult mistakes and through valuable lessons. Yes, you can certainly earn a very high income in trading. Some of our traders have months with 200,000 euros in profit, or even more than that. But you have to understand, trading isn't a guaranteed, it's a swing. One month, you are up hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the next month can be absolutely nothing at all, or even negative. It depends entirely on the specific person, their level of experience, their speed of decision-making, and the current market conditions. To nurture and grow new specialists, we launched our academy. We take highly motivated people, teach them the technical craft, share our experience, and we pay them from day one, including during their training. Getting into this field is hard. It's a closed world, but we open the door to people who really want in and can handle these standards. Building trust with partners of different cultures, working across various legal systems, staying calm under pressure, and making the right decisions fast.
Okay, thank you. So it's important to say for you, dear viewers, we'll leave the link to our academy under the video. Maybe your trading story will start here. Trading sounds exciting and profitable, but you mentioned stress. How you deal with it? How do you feel inside, like when you know that your mistake can cost millions of dollars?
Yes, it's certainly a great deal of stress. And as I always say, that is exactly what we are being paid for. We take the risk on ourselves. What is hedging for anyone new to trading? That is basically insurance against price moves. We also perform thorough counterparty checks and use dozens of risk management tools. But the market isn't a vacuum. Sometimes things happen that you simply cannot predict, and a deal can turn into a loss. That's why you have to maintain yourself in peak condition, both physically and mentally. I try to use every single opportunity that comes my way to be with my family, go for a run, swim, or ski. What exactly does a trader feel in those moments? Constant stress, responsibility, and a focused, clear mindset. That loss has to be meticulously earned back. This is a job where you simply can't hide behind the processes. Ultimately, the final outcome always sits with you. This rhythm certainly isn't for everyone. Successful trading requires a very particular mindset, immense resilience, and true character. And you really do need to look after both your physical and your emotional health.
Okay, yes, this sounds really challenging. And I also wanted to ask, where do you find your clients?
I'd say it's not really us who find the clients. Clients find us. They come through word-of-mouth referrals. We've been established in this market for a long time now, and we are known for our professionalism and high level of reliability. Actually, around 89% of our new business acquisitions come through direct referrals from the people who have already worked with us in the past. And we certainly don't let them down. Around 80% of our clients are loyal, long-term clients.
Okay, and what other obstacles can you meet in trading?
Let me share something common that frustrates our traders, but might make you smile. You might think piracy is just an ancient legend from the distant past. No, it actually isn't. It is the 21st century. We have satellites and AI models, and yet these ships still need protection from armed people in speedboats. In the Gulf of Aden and just off the coast of Somalia, these threats can be very real indeed. Some tankers go all the way around Africa. It takes extra weeks, but there's a better chance of arriving safely. Others use guards, satellite monitoring, special routes, and sometimes, yes, vessels are escorted by naval ships. It sounds like an action film, and here's the paradox. In one particular business deal, we use AI to improve pricing models, and in another, we're actively safeguarding a large tanker from high-tech, modern-day pirates.
Wow, so that's both a frightening and funny situation. How do you handle something like this?
We have a specialized internal department focused on risk analysis and risk profiling, which includes piracy. When it is needed, we carefully avoid high-risk areas and redesign our shipping routes. And there are professional security companies that can escort our vessels.
Maersk recently made its first structural steps of returning to Suez and Red Sea. What does that mean for logistics and for carry profits in 2026?
It's an important signal, but it's easy to misread. It doesn't mean everyone returns tomorrow and everything is normal again. Even analysts say it could take 3 to 5 months to stabilize schedules, and this transition may bring more disruptions. But if there is a mass return to the office, the effect becomes simple math. While ships went around the Cape of Good Hope, the market was tight. Longer routes mean less available capacity. Returning via Suez effectively releases 6 to 8% global container capacity. And that puts pressure on the rates. For carriers, it means one thing: margins in 2026 could be under pressure because the Africa detour premium starts disappearing. For cargo owners, it sounds great, faster and potentially cheaper, but the transition period may be messy. Stability will not come in a week.
With your 30 years of experience, how do you work with global crises? One crisis helped you to start your journey, and now the market is in another tough period. Maybe do you see any opportunities now?
Yes, a crisis is a stress, but it's also a window. Trade flows change, supply chains break, new ones are being built. Some companies can't adapt and exit the market. The strongest remain, the ones who move fast, stay flexible, and keep discipline and reliability. A practical example. Recently, a Serbian refinery temporarily stopped due to sanction restrictions. And that immediately opened supply opportunities from other regions. The crisis doesn't remove demand, it changes the route. And the winner is the one who finds legal, reliable solutions the fastest, without panic and without reckless moves.
Some time ago, you mentioned artificial intelligence. So, do you use, and if yes, how do you use artificial intelligence during your working process?
We're calm about artificial intelligence. There's no hype, but there is real interest. It's not magic. It's not a replacement for our people. It's a tool. We use it for analytics, data checks, risk assessment, and improving communication quality. But our expertise still can't be replaced by artificial intelligence.
Okay, and the second popular global trend is cryptocurrency. So, do you use it in your professional sphere? Is it helpful for you, or you not use it at all?
Let's be honest. The crypto world was built largely around the idea of anonymity. In our business, the value is the opposite. Transparency, clear documentation, legal clarity, and open cooperation with partners. So at this moment, I don't really see a practical use case for crypto in our work.
Okay, Victor, thank you very much for your answer. If you don't mind, let's also talk about other global trends that we have now. And I think one of the most important is environment. So sustainability is everywhere now. Maybe could you tell us a bit more, how do you realize this in your business?
For us, sustainability isn't about fancy slogans. It's about doing business responsibly and managing risk. We do two things. First, we strive to cut our own emissions. Second, when we can't reduce them enough yet, we compensate when possible using clear and trusted options in the European Union. There is a system called carbon allowances. They're called allowances or quotas. The ton of carbon. If a company can't offset emissions directly, for example, through a verified tree planting project, it can say hello. And instead, we've also seen real results abroad. Take Mongolia. Since 2010, there has been a shift from coal to gas and the traditional yurts. We've been involved since the early days of LPG supply. And with our support, gas delivers too. 5 volts. That worked very well. Clear air. A better day today. Living conditions.
Victor, thank you very much for your answer. And I think in the end of our today's conversation, I wanted to ask you, what is the most important thing you have learned during your business?
Business isn't just a goal, it is a journey. And if you don't know how to be happy on that journey, no deal and no set of numbers will save you.
Okay, Victor, thank you very much. So, in the end of our today's conversation, I want to ask you the last question. You're the person who has built the successful company with many employers, with multi-million-dollar deals, and you are really experienced in being an entrepreneur. So, and my last question, what is the strength?
I think people.
Thank you very much, Victor. Today we talked about trading business. If you enjoyed our today's conversation, Please write what do you think about our today's podcast in our comments. And Victor, thank you very much that you made for us a small excursion to this interesting field.
Thank you.